Ah, yes, we have finally made it. Happy NFL Draft Eve. It's only second to Christmas Eve on the calendar. I'm Harrison Graham. Welcome into Chicago Bears Now. It is my final Bears mock draft, my 25th. I cannot believe I did 25 of these. That makes me a psycho. If you watched them all, you're probably even more of a psycho. But that's what we do. We love the draft. We love the Bears. Round one on Thursday night. We're going to be live for all 7 rounds of the NFL draft, so subscribe to the channel. Join us starting at 6:30 Eastern, 5:30 Central Time. That is 90 minutes before the start of the NFL Draft. Mark it in, lock it in. We're going to be here celebrating what the Bears do on Thursday, and hopefully they're involved on Friday and Saturday as well. And that party will start with the number one pick in the draft being Caleb Williams, the USC quarterback. I'm not going to do some deep analysis here on this video. We'll certainly do plenty of that during the draft, but just, briefly, we know his skill set, the strong arm, the accolades at USC, the adversity he had to go through this past year as things didn't go to plan. I think he's more than worthy of being this selection here. I think he is clearly the top quarterback in this draft, and I've gone as far as put him as QB1 on the Bears depth chart because it is so painfully obvious that he is going to be the pick for the Chicago Bears. The bottom line is there's nothing to see here. Probably the last 10 mock drafts I've done have been Williams because it's been pretty clear that he was going to be the pick really since going back to the Combine, if not earlier. And then Thursday it becomes official. So it's exciting. It's an exciting time for Bears fans, and I can't wait to celebrate it with all of you. So let's get to the part of the mock that things could get interesting. This is how the first 8 picks played out. Kind of a chalky mock. Williams, Daniels, May, top 3 picks. Cardinals stayed at 4, took Marvin Harrison Jr. Malik Neighbors at 5. I'd be interested to see if that's where the Chargers went there. That certainly could be when the Vikings opted to trade up. They did not in this mock draft simulation. That meant the Giants got J.J. McCarthy at 6. Joe Alt to Tennessee at 7, and then Dallas Turner at 8 to Alabama. And bit of a chalky one here, but if it does play out this way, I think it's a pretty easy pick for Ryan Poles. At least for me it would be. And that would be Rome Odunze, the wide receiver out of Washington. I just continue to think that if one of the top 3 receivers of Odunze, Harrison, or Neighbors is available at number 9, I just think that's the pick. I don't think you overthink it. I'm not saying you don't answer the phone if teams make trade offers, but unless you're overwhelmed, I think it's a pretty easy decision here because in a lot of drafts, this guy would be the best receiver in it. He just happens to be with 2 other generational talents. 2 really productive years, 6'3", 210 pounds, runs really well. You can play him outside in the slot. He can be your punt returner if you want him to be as well. Good hands. And, by the way, him and Caleb Williams know each other pretty well. They happen to be on the same flight to Detroit, and there they are arriving in Detroit for the NFL Draft. Is it destiny, folks? It almost feels like it is. Is it too good to be true? This is the dream scenario, unless you want to say Marvin Harrison falls to 9. But out of realistic dreams that could happen in this draft, this is it. I think it's 50-50 if Rome makes it to 9. And if he does, I really hope Ryan Poles turns in that card because I just think he is a home run selection for Chicago. Bears fans, shout it with me. If you want Rome Odunze at number 9, spam me in the comments below. If he's there, we don't need to trade. Let's take Rome Odunze and have ourselves a night. But I do want to get at least one extra pick in there. So let's do a minor trade down from 75 with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We drop down to 84, the Bears do. Pick up a 4th, 119 overall. Steelers jump up 9 selections there in the 3rd round. And before the Bears pick at 84, perfect time to tell you guys about today's sponsor. That is Game Time. Listen, if you want tickets to your favorite sporting events, maybe even to the NFL Draft, Game Time is the place to go. Get $20 off when you sign up. And create an account with the Game Time app. Got to download it first. Search your app store. Click the link in the comments and in the description. What Game Time does best is last-minute sales, zone deals. What they're trying to do is put butts in seats. So if you're kind of someone who lives in the kind of the in the moment, you wake up and you're like, you know what? I feel like going to a Cubs game today. Well, pull up Game Time. You're going to find the best prices available because they're trying to fill those seats. Lowest price guaranteed. So if you see the same ticket on another third-party ticketing service app and prove that to Game Time, they will lower that price for you. They want to make it easy. They want to make it painless. They want to make it affordable. They want you to have a good time. So get out of your house. Go to some Cubs games. Go check out the White Sox, even though they're terrible. Go to some Bears games this fall. Concerts, sporting events, comedy shows, and a whole lot more. Download the Game Time app today. Use promo code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off your first order. Last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed with Game Time. I think this is the first time I have mocked a player I'm familiar with to the Bears. Brandon Coleman, who's been a late riser in the draft process, at least publicly, and maybe he's always been in this range, but the offensive lineman out of my alma mater, TCU. Now, he did not play that well in 2023, and I think that hurt his stock initially, but first, you look at his relative athletic score, and that's for a guard. He could play tackle and guard. He played both in college. He's 6'4.5". He's got almost 35-inch arms. He's big and long enough to play tackle, where he spent a lot of time at left tackle, but he tested really well in a lot of categories there. A lot of elite 9.96. I mean, that is off the charts in that guard category. He'd still be well in the nines for tackles as well. Reports came out that he played through injury in 2023, and that really checks out for me because in 2022, he was terrific. I thought he might have gone pro after that year and been a day 2 pick. He comes back to school. They kicked him inside to guard. He was playing with injuries. They moved him back to tackle. They kept moving him around. It was a whole new offense, so there was just a lot going on for him this year. But he's versatile. He's powerful. He's athletic as hell, which we just outlined with his relative athletic score. I like that he can play tackle and guard. I think you bring him in here, and as a rookie, he's like your top backup lineman, whether it's guard or tackle. And then maybe in 25, he's a starter. One of Nate Davis or Tevin Jenkins is probably not on this football team. Is Braxton Jones the long-term answer? I think this guy is someone you ease in year 1, starter in year 2. You get that in the late 3rd round. I think that's pretty good. Really good versatility as well, which is valuable in the middle rounds. Let's take a swing here. Why not? T'Vondre Sweat, the big fella. Just get the man a rental car if you are the Bears. Kidding. Maybe not kidding, but let's make better decisions, T'Vondre. DUI a couple of weeks ago, just brutal timing, and quite frankly, timing shouldn't matter for that. But my point is like, this is going to give teams pause, not only to have a DWI on his record, but if you're having one before the draft when you already have a reputation for being a party animal, can teams take you seriously? Can they trust you to be a focal point of a defense? I think he's going to slide. There's been chatter he could fall to day 3. And in the 4th round, I'll take a swing, man. Like, this guy's talented as hell. I mean, if he gets his head on straight, and like, you don't even need him to be a leader, just make good decisions off the field, he can be a starting nose tackle in this league for 10 years. He really could. You let him sit behind Andrew Billings, learn from a vet who's had to really earn his way throughout the first several years of his career, and then I think he could be your starter very, very soon. So I think the Bears roster is in good enough shape now where if he falls to the 4th round, I would take a chance on this kid. I think the Bears have enough proven leaders at this point where they could bring him in to their environment and help him grow as a young man as well. I think everybody deserves second chances, unless you're doing crazy shit that some people do. But I think he's worthy of a second chance here. My producer's laughing in my ear. I'm not trying to crack jokes, but 4th round, why not? I think it's worthwhile. And then I'm going to double down on the defensive line here. I'm going to go with the other UCLA edge, Gabriel Murphy. He actually has a younger brother, Grayson Murphy, that could go later in the draft as well. But Gabriel, about 6'3", 250. He had 8 sacks last year. He also had 8 sacks in 2021. Had a bit of a down year in 2022, but 3-year player who's played a lot of football for UCLA. He's not Latu, obviously, but I think early day 3 is good value for him. Rotation rusher early on. Maybe he evolves into a starter down the road, but in the 4th round, if he's a guy who can, come in on pass downs and give you 3-4 sacks as a rookie, that certainly wouldn't be too bad whatsoever. All right, there you go. My final Bears mock draft. Just one trade down, get an extra pick. I think you'd like to get a 5th pick in there. Ryan Pohl says he's comfortable with the 4 picks the Bears have, but, if you can get a 5th one in there, certainly I think worthwhile. Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze, the dream combo in round 1. You get Brandon Coleman on a minor trade down on on day 2 in the 3rd round, the offensive lineman out of TCU. You get Devondre Sweat as a result of that trade down in the 4th, and then Gabriel Murphy, the UCLA edge rusher, also in round 4. So be honest, there you go, my final Bears mock draft. Give me a grade down in the comment section below, A, B, C, D, or F. Go ahead and let me know how we did. And then if you want to join us for the real shebang, it all starts tomorrow night, day 1, round 1 of the NFL draft. We'll be here for all of it, obviously talking a lot of Caleb Williams, and then what every other team is doing and what the Bears are going to do at 9. We'll have that all covered. We'll be back on Friday for day 2 to see what Ryan Poles has cooked up. Is it just pick 75, or has he added someone from day 1? We'll have to wait and see. And then also day 3 coverage, rounds 4 through 7. Even if the Bears only have their 4th round pick, we'll be here the entire way to see what could happen. All right. Thanks to everybody for tuning in. You can also follow me on social media at HGramNFL, Twitter, and Instagram. Tomorrow's the day. Bear down.